Hi there. In this video we are going to be replacing the Hotend on the Kobra S1 because the nozzle itself is glued in. It cannot be replaced by itself. We need to replace the whole Hotend in there with the heating element and everything. So to do this, my preference is to come to this, home it, allow it to do its thing. It stopped right here, and now you can move it towards the middle. Yeah, you can increase the size of the steps it makes, and when you have it in front and at the middle, you can shut it off because you do not really want this powered on when you are working on it. Okay, let's say it's in the middle, so I will shut it off now. And it's off, and do not power it on no matter what you do, especially with the cover off, because it will not feel that switch right there and it will bump into stuff and you have a chance to damage all your belts. So yeah, don't power it on after this point until I tell you to. Squeeze on these things and move them slowly around while pulling. Yeah, I did move the rails a bit, doesn't matter, they are not that easily damaged. One side is coming out, now the other one is also coming out, and I think we are locked only at the top anymore. And now be careful because there's this cable right here that you need to unplug to be able to take this cover off. Oh, a bit of fluff in there, need to get rid of that. So don't pull on it, unplug it. Unplugged, now I can store it away. And this is the thing that we need to replace right here. So I'm taking off the silicone protection from it, basically peeling it slowly. Try to wiggle it around as much as you can so you don't break it. It is quite stuck in there. This has more than 600 hours of printing on it, a lot of it with PETG, so yeah, it's seen its share of printing. It was time to replace it. It's the type 0.4 millimeter brass, so PETG did a number on it. I'm going to show you something in a moment. Just as an idea, you can see this on the prints, defects in the prints, so it's not printing reliable anymore. This is how poop was supposed to come out of it when it was brand new. Quite nice shape, and this is how it comes out now. Yes, here it changed from black to white, that is why it's really gray, but the shape of it, you can see it's really weird and coily, much different from the nice original one. So yeah, this thing, it's kind of gunsky. Yeah, I tried to clean it, it's not clogged or anything, it's just worn out. Its geometry at the tip is not the good one anymore. So yeah, now at the back of this, right around there, let me try and give you a bit of light. Underneath it, I should have moved also the printing table down. We have the connection right there in the middle. Phone cannot really focus on it, it's much too tight. Maybe from this angle I can show it to you. Yeah, I can, more or less. Here's the connector that we need to unplug. And then get the wires from this clip, but wiggle this thing. It has a latch right there. Let me leave the printer tip on the printing plate and unlatch this. So press on the latch itself. Kind of hard to do, honestly. Stupid location for this connector, but yeah, as long as the latch is pressed and you wiggle it around, it should be coming out. And it's out. And now you can get it away from this thing and lift the lever right here fully. And now this should be released. Any day now. I hope maybe we should cut this just in case the printer didn't cut it last time. or was it forward? No, I think it's backwards. So now we cut the filament just in case it wasn't. Maybe cut it from the start. Yeah, it wasn't. So the printer didn't cut the filament prior to this. So we were pulling on filament through the tubes. So just cut it before so you can release this thing. And yeah, this is it. But as you can see, this has seen its fair share of printing. And also I wanted one with a bigger diameter, so I got one. We'll show you in a moment. Something that I don't like. This thingy heated up quite a bit. Yes, there's a lot of printing hours on this, but if this heated up, it means that the connector in there also heated up. You can see it a tiny bit. Yeah, don't like that. I will try to clean the pin as good as I can with some alcohol or contact cleaner actually. But yeah, nothing more that I can do. And this is bought directly from Anycubic. It's a 0.6 millimeter and it's hardened steel. It's not brass anymore because yeah, I'm going to be printing quite a bit of PET-G and brass wears out a bit quickly. And they also gave us the silicone protection, so I didn't even need to reuse that one. Basically now, after I clean the contact in there to make sure that this will make proper contact, I'm just going to install it. You can see they decided to make this out of copper. This wasn't copper back then. Ooh, and this actually had this thing right here. I don't think I need to move that from that one to this one. I think this one just comes in a different configuration from factory. You can see its wall, it's much thicker than this was. Yeah, it's different philosophy. Anyway, let me clean that with contact cleaner. Cleaning in there with again contact cleaner and a brush. Yeah, camera will not focus on that, so sorry about that. So hopefully should be good. Now what you can do, bend the wires in a similar way as to how they were bent on the original one, so they don't interfere with anything. Get them at the back there, and now just plug this thing in place. Yes, this white stuff does not move to this one because the hole in this one is already the size of the one in the white protection, actually slider in there. I don't know even how to call it. PTFE probably tube. Anyway, so this goes without that white. Interesting design choice, but anyway, let's plug it in. At this point, we are just pushing it right into this hole, locking the lever fully. Yes, it still has a bit of rotation on it. Make sure you kind of align it straight, more or less. And now we need to get it in there, into that latch, but I cannot do it with one hand. And it's in there behind that little latch, and I just need to bend the wires and make sure I can somehow plug it in there. It's gonna be really freaking fiddly. And it's more or less aligned, and it clicked in. So in theory, now we are locked. Cleaned again the connection, hopefully no more issues. This is locked straight, and now we can come and connect this and put the cover on. Everything is plugged in, this little guy also plugged in, and now we can just come with it and push it in place, locked on both sides, looking good at the bottom. So in theory, now we can power on our printer and start printing. It's powering on. It will probably play around, do its calibration, find the limits on all directions, and then you are ready to go. Actually no, it seems it doesn't. So what I'm going to do, honestly, do a full calibration. And we're done, fully calibrated. Just as an idea, if you are changing the nozzle dimension and material type, you need to obviously change it from 0.4 to 0.6 in the settings, change this from brass to hardened steel, and I think somewhere in there we have the diameter of it, again 0.6 from 0.4 for me. Actually, you need to change more stuff. Diameter, layer height, and then in other setting layer width. So yeah, you need to change quite a bit of stuff when changing nozzle diameter. Don't know how much this helps and how much it's correct, but I changed the layer height like this because this can print taller layers without issues. It will not under extrude. Increased retraction a bit to 1 millimeter because it's more material, and I think on this page that's about it, apart from obviously the first going to 0.6 diameter, and in basic info I went with hardened steel. And obviously I saved this thing as a new preset that I'm going to be using, and in here I also created a new preset, and in quality I think, where is it, changed all of these line widths. Basically I added 0.2 to what was already there, and I think it should be fine. So yeah, and also saved this as a new preset for me to know. And yes, obviously maybe there are other settings somewhere that I should have changed, but I don't know. This is what I knew. I think I also need to change the nozzle size on the printer itself. Oopsie daisy. Yeah. Okay. Let's see, where do we change this control? Where could it be? Need to search for it. Yeah, here it is in print, non-standard nozzle, hardened steel 0.6. Reboot and recalibration. Okay. Yeah, I should have done this from the start before the recalibration. Okay, damn it. So, again, recalibrate. Sorry about this. Shut it off from the button in the back, powered it on, and now it's doing a more in-depth calibration by itself for the new nozzle size. If you change with the same size and type of nozzle, obviously you don't need to do this. Freaking really, I thought it finished and I came to that message. And I think we are done. Let's see. In print. Yep. We have the proper nozzle selected now. Okay, let's go printing. Okay, so it went through. Let's go to the printer. Hopefully everything works fine. Yeah, now this is proper poop. This is how it should be. Hopefully printing is also going to go fine. Yes, it's changing from black to white here. This is why it's gray. Okay, seems to be printing perfectly fine. Let's see how it ends up. And the first print with 0.6 nozzle is done. A bit of poop remained around here, but it's absolutely normal poop, not weird shapes, curly shapes. Yeah, and this tool, how easy it will be to get it out of here, no idea. A bit of black in here. Anycubic. Okay, nice. This edge isn't the cleanest. I will use a file a bit on it. But yeah, overall for the first print with the settings that I made for 0.6 that I guessed mostly, maybe I need to go a bit online and search for more info, and it can even go better probably. But yeah, printer is working, it's printing. So I was looking at this tower, and even the side of it, which is freaking thin, is really well glued. So yeah, this is working really well with minimum settings, and yeah, it's more or less plug and play. Change just some few minor things and go printing, and you can print faster obviously with this bigger nozzle. and it should also be more resistant to wear in time. Not as good in small details, but for me, I print bigger stuff most of the time, so that doesn't matter. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Hope it helps you, in which case please give it a like, check out my other videos. I'm also making a video where I try to transform the original Hotend into one where I can change the nozzle. Most likely it won't work from what I'm seeing up until now, but anyway, I'm trying. So that one will also be in the description if you want to check it out. This replacement has been 100% successful, back to creating structural parts, I don't know, supports for tools and whatnot. Everything is working absolutely perfectly and it's printing faster, which is freaking awesome. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to check out the comment section, ask there. I will do my best to answer. Check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.